Hey guys, it's Melanie. I hope you're having a great day. Today I am sharing a good old-fashioned makeup declutter. That's right. Once a year, typically in January, actually, I like to go through my entire makeup collection. I do store my makeup in the Alex 9-drawer system. That just works well for me. And I really like to literally pull everything out and open it and make some honest decisions about whether I still intend on using any of these things at any point in the future with any kind of regularity. And if the answer is no, it's gotta go. So I made some pretty tough decisions this last go around because I feel like I have decluttered a lot over the last probably actually 4 years from my makeup collection. And if you're gonna ask if I plan on doing a tour of what I have left, or like an inventory of what I have left, I do actually plan on doing that next week. So I will take you through the Alex 9 drawer and show you what is remaining in my collection. I have definitely whittled it down quite a bit. And I feel pretty good about what I have left. And I've become really much better about not buying makeup excessively. Clearly, I have moved that obsession over to skincare, but I do use my skincare a lot more quickly than I do makeup. So I'm a little bit more okay with overbuying that stuff in reality. I don't need to do that either. But anyway, trade one obsession for another, right? So anyway, these are the things that I have pulled out, and I thought I'd take you through and just kind of show you what I've pulled out and tell you why I've decided to declutter these things. It's not that any of these products are bad products. I actually loved using them at one point or another, but they are either pretty old at this point. I mean, in the case of that palette right there, especially the Ladybird palette from Kat Von D, I mean, that is old. So it's probably just time for that one to go for that reason alone. But yeah, this makes me feel really good. Things that are not expired or that I personally feel comfortable passing along, I will sanitize and I will give to either my nieces, or Stella is at a point now where she kind of likes playing with makeup a little bit. Yeah. So some of these things might be passed along to her. Yay. She's sitting here in the room with me today. So anyway, let's go ahead and we're gonna start over here. This is a Tarte palette. Oh, hi, there I am. This is a Tarte palette that I've had for a number of years. I think I bought this maybe in 2011, 12? It's old. So I'm gonna go ahead and this one, I'm not entirely sure if I'm just going to toss this one because it is so much older than some of these other palettes, but yeah, that one definitely needed to go. I hadn't reached for it in a really long time. This is the Buxom, I think it's the Suede Seduction. Does that sound right? Yep, Suede Seduction eyeshadow palette. I just don't reach for it. It's still good. So this one will get sanitized and passed along. This one is actually fairly new, but I just don't find myself reaching for it.
I love that one.
You like that one? Yeah. So this is the Tarte. This is not very old at all. I think this is Cue the Confetti. I think I actually bought this last year, but I think it's actually quite great in terms of quality from Tarte, in terms of eyeshadows at least. But again, I'm just not reaching for it. So if Stella will, then she can play with this. She does not wear makeup out of the house, by the way, but I do now let her just kind of play with it at home because it's fun. I mean, she's a total girly girl. So this here is the Color Science eyeshadow palette. Again, these are actually really nice colors in here, but I just haven't found myself reaching for it, and it is fairly new, so it's another one that I can easily pass along. This is slightly older, and I do think this one is probably just going to go in the garbage. It's the Cargo eyeshadow palette in Essentials. I think it's the Cool Neutral. There we go, the Cool Neutral Essentials. So I think that one's gonna go in that pile there. This one here was this is Bare Minerals. It was one of the limited edition holiday palettes of theirs. And I think this one is still very much usable. I just didn't find myself reaching for it very often. And I think honestly, it's because of the packaging. It's a little bulky and difficult to use. And so I just never reached for this one a whole lot, but it's the Regal Wardrobe. I do think this one is still able to be passed along. This is that Kat Von D Ladybird palette here. Again, this one is quite old, so I'm thinking this one should probably go in this pile here. I do have a couple of brow products over here. This one I think is actually brand new still. This is from the Brow Gal. I think this came in a BoxyCharm or something. I still even have this little like cover piece on here, so that can be passed along. And this one here is a NYX. This is actually a eyebrow cake powder. It's not the best fit for my brows, and my brows are actually micro shaded. So yeah, this one can be passed along. I think I only used it a few times, so definitely one that can get some more life elsewhere. In terms of single eyeshadows, I've got an Urban Decay one here. These are just very, very metallic. These are from what? Touch and Soul? Yep, Touch and Soul. So they're just very metallic eyeshadows, just not something that I'm gonna use, but definitely can be passed along. This one's pretty old. I think this one's probably gotta go. These are also super old. This is Victoria's Secret eyeshadow in Decadent, and this one was super popular back in the day, Private Beach. These just need to go in the trash. They are so old, you guys. I found some pencil liners, one from Marc Jacobs, one from Kat Von D that are still completely sealed. So these can be passed along. These here I think are still okay. This is a Laura Geller eyeshadow duo. I didn't love the texture of this for my liking, but I think it's still a good one to be able to pass along. There's a couple of Bare Mineral shadows in here. These are just messy. I don't love loose eyeshadows, but they're actually quite pretty colors, so I am gonna pass those along. I found one more lipstick or lip product, I guess I should say, to toss. Luckily, I finished most of it, but this is quite old, so I just decided to go ahead and pull that out. I have Blush Central over here. So there's a Smashbox blush. I think this one's still usable. I have some of my older MAC blushes. I actually use these in my professional kit. These I think I'm going to go ahead and give to Stella because they're very light colors, and I think they'll be great for her to kind of play with. So there's Mocha, what's this, Cubic, and Melba. Yeah, Melba. So those will be good for her. There's Elise Wattier blush in here. I just think this is quite old, to be totally honest. So I think I'm going to go ahead and, well, I think I can pass this one along to Stella too. I'll sanitize it and she can play with it. So got some blushes for the girl. There's some primers here. These two are Becca primers. Rest in peace, Becca, right? Did you guys hear that they're just totally going out of business? Yep. I wonder if Jacqueline did them in. Totally kidding. No, but I think they cited the pandemic as the reason for discontinuing their company. So anyway, these are the Velvet Blurring Perfecting Bases. I just never really reached for this. I think it's actually quite a good product, but I don't know. I'm not a huge primer girl. When it comes to face primers, I tend to use my SPF as my primer. That works really well for my oily skin. So I'm just gonna go ahead and pass these along because these can get some life elsewhere. This honestly is really old. I think I bought this when Hourglass was first released at Sephora. So that was quite a few years ago. This is their mineral primer. I think this is actually, again, a good primer, but I think this is one that at this point probably just needs to be tossed. So I'm going to put it in the toss pile. This one is still good. It's the Smashbox Photo Finish Foundation Primer. It's a pore minimizing formula. This is still very usable. So we're going to stick this over here. This is the Strivectin Anti-Wrinkle Blurfector for the eyes. Now you can use this on your lids, or you can use it underneath the eyes. I feel like this made my eyes water quite a bit, so it's not for me, but this is still fairly new product. So I'm gonna pass this along, and if somebody else's eyes don't water when they're using this, then yay for them. Now we're gonna come over here to some blush palettes. You're gonna see a lot of Tarte here because I used to buy these like they're going out of style. So this is, I think, holiday collection, maybe 2013 or 14. This is actually a highlight and contour palette called the Park Avenue Princess. Just haven't reached for it. It's still very usable, and you know, I think this can get some life elsewhere still. This is one of the Tarte, gosh, what year was this? Maybe 2015? I have no idea. But you can see, oh, I use this so little.
So pretty.
It is, it's very pretty. But I'm just not reaching for it, guys. So guess who gets to play with it now? Stella Bean.
Yes. I love that one.
Yeah, and this one's actually quite pretty too. I think this was actually the very first Tarte like holiday blush palette that they came out with. And I use this one a lot more, as you can see, but still I'm not reaching for it anymore, so it's gotta go. So I think I'll let Stella play with this one as well, and then it'll make me feel a little bit better about having purchased it. It's still staying in the family. It's still gonna get some use, but just not for me. So you guys, this was my declutter for 2021. Next week, probably actually on Monday, I'll take you guys through the Alex 9 drawer and show you what I have left. There's still quite a bit of makeup in there, but it's makeup that I do find myself reaching for fairly frequently. So things that I definitely still want to keep in the collection. So anyway, you guys, there you go. Hopefully this inspires you to do a little bit of a makeup clean out yourself. Just be realistic with yourself about how long you've had some of these things. Try to disinfect them on a regular basis if you know that a lot of your eyeshadow palettes are older, or a lot of your blush palettes. It's very simple to do. You can actually just spritz them lightly with some 70% alcohol. And as long as you don't hose the pan down, you shouldn't get any hard pan or anything like that. You can certainly look up videos on how to do it. It's a very, very simple process. And there are also actually makeup sanitizing sprays that makeup artists use as well. So you can do it. Anyway, thanks so much for taking the time to watch. I'll see you guys in the next one. Toodaloo.